Ever since Counter-Strike 2 released, people have been complaining about the way that the weapon spray feels. Valve has rolled out multiple updates trying to address the issue, but the complaints have persisted. In this video, we're gonna find out how one guy went on an absolute Nobel Prize in gaming worthy quest, trying to identify the root cause of the problem and suggesting a fix that Valve has less than 24 hours ago incorporated into the game to overwhelmingly positive initial reactions from the player base. The man of the hour is a Portuguese fella called Powerful CSOT8927, who released a lengthy mini-paper on the Global Offensive subreddit just 3 days ago. We're gonna go through it, examine the findings, and look at the effects of the new update which incorporates the fix. This post is linked in the description, feel free to go through it at your leisure. Okay, now we need to define 3 terms that Seesaw uses in this post to understand it: view punch, view angle, and recoil offset. When you take a shot in CS with a weapon, the game simulates the kickback you would receive, just like in real life. This kickback has 2 components, view punch and recoil, with the effect of recoil being a lot stronger than the view punch. Both combine to deflect your player view model in an upward direction. We can measure this deflection by using the CL show position command, which gives you the exact position of your model in space and the angle of your view model in the 3 axes. We are only concerned with how much the magnitude of the deflection is in the horizontal axis. This is the view angle, and recoil offset is simply the number which determines the rate at which the recoil component normalizes after a shot has been fired. Now, the hypothesis Seesaw was testing was that the inconsistency in the weapon spray in CS2 was a result of the fact that the view punch is updated with every rendered frame, whereas the recoil offset is updated with every tick of the server, so 64 ticks in a CS2 match. The important thing to note is that in CSGO, both of these variables were tethered to the tick rate, so view punch and recoil offset both updated 64 times a second. If you want the full technical details, I encourage you to go through the Reddit post for a thorough technical understanding of how these conclusions were reached. But we're gonna jump to this handy composite graph from the conclusions of a study. The spikes in these lines are peaks in the view angle magnitudes. So every peak represents a bullet that was fired, and the drop represents the recovery. As you would expect, if you keep spraying a weapon, the recoil keeps increasing your view angle until you stop and your view resets. Here you see 30 spikes for the 30 bullets fired from an AK-47. The green line represents the effects of just the view punch, without the effects of any recoil, and it's a sharp spike followed by a smooth recovery, with the view punch values updating with every frame. The blue line represents the effects of only the recoil, and as you see, it goes up and down in a staircase pattern because it only updates with each server tick, and when we combine both of them, we get the sharp spike, but these jagged patterns while the view recovers, which should not be happening. This effect is very subtle in a weapon like the AK-47, but in something like the Mag 7 it is extremely pronounced, and comparing this to CSGO, the difference is clear as night and day. The additional inconsistent shaking in the recoil recovery has been the cause of unwanted screen shake, sprays feeling extra jittery, spray transfers being harder, and a loss in visual clarity when you're trying to track an enemy while engaged in a fight. So, a member of the community finds the problem, gives Valve the solution, Valve provides an update, and everything's sunshine and rainbows, right? Wrong. What if I told you the hypothesis Seesaw was testing did not originate from him? What if I told you he was testing the theory of someone who had recognized this issue since Counter-Strike 2 was in beta? What if I told you Reddit user What a Waste of 7 Years had handed over this issue to Valve devs ages ago, and they had said it was being looked at, but they did absolutely nothing until someone else came along and did all the legwork and testing for them? Because that's exactly what I'm saying. What a Waste of 7 Years has been waffling on about this issue for ages and being ignored. Reminder that Valve made over $100 million from players opening cases just in March this year. In 2024, they made over $1 billion from the game. I simply don't get it. If you don't want to work on the game, hire a team of people from within the community, dude. Go back to what made CS great in the first place. That's it for now. See you next time.